Okay, absolute value topic. So given this graph, explain how you would sketch this graph of the absolute value. So where the graph has y values, that are 0 or positive, then I would keep the same points. Where the graph has y values that are negative, then I would change the points to positive y values, which would reflect over the x-axis. So I would keep that, and this part would change to there. Okay, but you have to explain it in words, so that would get overlapped, and this would get overlapped, and then this would change to positive. Given this function below, we're going to sketch. So there's an absolute and there's down 1. This I'm going to absolute first, and then I'm going to go down 1 because of the order that the down 1 is not in the brackets. So if I absolute, this would stay and this would go from there to there. Then this part would stay. So let's do that lightly yellow. So there's the absolute. Then I would go down 1. So this point will be there, 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 and there. So this is my final graph. Okay, number 3, given what is the range of the new graph? So remember what the big idea is. Absolute, 0 works, positive works, negative switches to positive. So the lowest would be 0 and the highest would be positive. So that would be C. And if you thought about it, right, this would change, this would stay, this would change, and this would stay, and that would not exist. Okay, that would be the idea. Number 4, sketch the graph of this. Okay, so we are going to absolute first, and then we're going to reflect over the x-axis, because that's an A, so we're going to do it in that order. Okay, so absolute, this part would stay, and then this part would change. So this is the absolute. Now I'm going to reflect that. So that point would stay, this would reflect there, that would stay, and then this would reflect okay, so I absolute first, and then I reflected. Okay, we have to graph this, so we are going to horizontally compress by 2, then absolute, and then we're going to go up 1. Okay, so the points are going to go here, here, stay, and here. So there's my horizontal compress. Now I'm going to absolute that. So this would go change, and this would stay. So absolute. And now I'm going to take that and go up 1. So there's that piece, and this is a coordinate 0.5, comma 2, so 0.5, comma 3. Okay, if you wanted to do math with your coordinates, you could have done x divided by 2, the absolute value of y plus 1. So you could have done that with the coordinates, so -2, 0, -1, -2, 0, 0, and we'll go with 1, comma 2. So this would turn into -1, -1/2, 0, and 1/2. And then the absolute of that, plus 1, the absolute of that is 2, so that would go to 3. Absolute is 0 plus 1. Absolute of that is 2, turning it into 3. And then you can see how they match as well. Okay, so now here we're going to, in order, we're going to go right 1, then we're going to absolute, and then we're going to go vertical stretch by 2. Okay, so I'm going to go right 1, now I'm going to absolute that. So stay, 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 change. So that was the absolute. Now I'm going to vertically stretch by 2. So -2, 0 stays. -1, 2 is going to go to -1, 4. This will stay. 2, 1 will change to 2, 2. 3, 0 will stay, and 4, 1 will go to 4, 2. All right, we also could have done coordinates, so x plus 1, then we would be absoluting y and then timesing by 2 after. Okay, so you could have done that to move the coordinates. So I'll give you one example, 1, 2, 3. So I'll give you 2 examples. -3, 0 would move to -2, comma. The absolute of that is 0 times 2. So we have that. That worked. we'll go with the original negative 2, 2. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. The absolute value of 2 is 2, so that would go to 4. Okay, and actually, you know what? Let's do the last one here. The original was 3, negative 1 on that. So 3, negative 1 would go to 4. The absolute is 1 times 2, so 4 comma 2. Okay, actually I may as well do them all here. So I did that. Let's do 0, 0, which should go to 1, 0. And 2 more here. So 1, 1. And what else did we do? We did 2, 0. 1, 1 should go to 2, comma 2. And 2, 0 should go to 3, comma 0. Okay, if we did this in an order, we would be going vertical stretch by half slash vertical compress by 2. Right 1 and then absolute. Okay, so I'm gonna vertically compress here. Okay, that was me compressing my y values. Now I'm going to move right 1. Oops, that one. So right 1. Now I'm going to absolute. So this part will reflect. So that would stay, that should go up. And then this coordinate should be stay. So that would be the shape at the end. Okay, and if you wanted to do the coordinates, so we're going to go x plus 1, and then a half y all gets absoluted. So I had a 0, 0. I had a 1, negative 2 on my original. I had a 2, 0. And I'm going to do another 2 points. I had a, I don't know, 1.5, comma 2. And then I kind of did, it's not 1.5. That would be 2.5, I think. Yeah, that's 2.5, comma 2. And a 1, 2.75, comma 4. So those are kind of some of the points that I took. So this would go 1, comma 0. This would be 2, comma. Half of that is negative 1 and then turns into a positive 1. 3, comma 0. So this would be 3.5, comma. Half is 1 but stays at 1. And then this would be 3.75, comma. Half of that's 2 but stays at 2. So those points turned up. Given the graph, describe how to sketch the absolute value. So we've actually had this question where y values are 0 or positive. Leave the graph on the same points. Where the y values are negative, reflect over the x-axis. So you're changing y values. Sketch this graph. Okay, so this is a B, so we're going to first reflect over the y-axis, and then I'm going to absolute. Okay, so this would go that, this point would go over here, and up. So it's hard to see, but I'm going to draw with the highlighter here. So that's my reflection, and now when I absolute, this part will stay, and then this part will change because it's negative. So this was the stay, and then this part was the change to positive. If you wanted to do math, then you would go x divided by -1, absolute of y. So your originals, let's go with a -2, comma, -3, 0, -3, 3, comma, 0, and I'm going to pick a 4, comma, 1. So if you had done math like that, it would be, I'm just going to go through all the x's here, +2, 0, -3, -4. And then this negative would turn into +3, +3, stay at 0, stay at 1. Hold on here, something doesn't add up. What did I do wrong here? -2, comma, -3 ended up at 2, 3. Oh yeah, -4. Yep, that worked, sorry. Yeah, those are good. Okay, arrows on both sides because that's the original. Okay, given that y equals the absolute value of x, determine the equation of the resulting function g after reflection over the x-axis, so -a, vertical translation, so we need a d, horizontal stretch by a factor, so that actually means b is 1/3, remember that. So y equals negative out front, 1/3 is on the x, and -5 is out of the bracket. Sketching this graph, so we're going to first absolute it, then reflect. So absoluting it stays, and then this middle portion. So if I absolute it, that's what you're looking at. Then I'm going to take that and reflect it. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 height. 1, 2, 3. So that's what it will look like. If you wanted to do some points, you would be doing nothing with your x, negative outside the absolute. So 1, 6, 2, 0, 3, negative 2, 4, 0, and 5, 6 would become nothing different with x. So you're going to go absolute and then negate it. So absolute is 6 and then negative 6. Absolute is 0, negative 0. So absolute is 2 and then negate it. 0 and then, so it's still 0. The absolute is still 6 and then negative 6. So that's how you get all those points.